Welcome, food travelers, to an episode here in Vietnam. In this episode, we take a tour bus from Hanoi to Halong Bay as a day tour by Diamond 5-Star Cruise. It includes a lunch buffet, cave visit, and pool. We booked this through Agoda. At the time of this recording, it was 48 USD a person, and we take this limousine tour bus round trip by expressway. There was multiple pickup spots within Hanoi that you had to arrange with a tour guide, and the tour guide does speak English, and there is complimentary bottles of water on the bus each way. We got picked up at the Hanoi Calista Hotel and Spa in the Old Quarter area. It was the closest location to where we were staying, and they picked us up around 8 a.m. And there was a few other spots before heading over to the final destination. So the bus driver would drive about 15 minutes to a rest area where it was about 10:30 a.m. for a short lavatory break, where you got to rest your legs for about 15 minutes and buy some souvenirs or breakfast, and then another 2.5 hours drive duration to the port where you would board the cruise ship. And by the time we boarded the cruise ship, it was about 11:45 a.m. And there was a welcome drink on board, and additional drinks were extra cost as well.
So what was the price and everything included, and what kind of buffet did they kind of offer? I guess what's all the different dishes that they have?
Yeah, so here, as you see in the video right now, there's a bunch of different items here for the buffet. The buffet itself was around 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. For the lunch. And on the website, they stated there will be 35 different dishes in the buffet lunch that includes seafood, Vietnamese food, and international food. Also a vegetarian option. No vegan option is what they didn't say that part. But the vegetarian option I thought was kind of interesting. They kind of had everybody raise their hands that were vegetarian, and they would just bring them up to the buffet area, and they'll just point out, yeah, you could eat this part, and this part, and they didn't really state specifically for anybody else to know what it was.
Presentation wise, it looked pretty nice. I mean, they, at least at this beginning spot before everybody kind of tackled all the food and took everything, it looked like they set it up pretty good. I saw that they had the spring rolls wrapped up, which I thought was actually pretty nice, because what happens with spring rolls is it can dry out pretty easy, and then when it dries out, it gets really chewy and kind of a plasticky texture. At least that's what I think. So that was nice to see. In terms of the food overall, what would you say the quality and the flavors were?
Overall, I did not have very high expectations. I really didn't think it was that great. I kind of feel like there was probably other cruise ships that you could have paid more for and got better food. There were some items that I thought was okay, like the baked oysters, but going up to get food, it was chaotic. You could kind of see that in the video. There's so many people just going up at the same time. I thought the spring rolls, even though they were wrapped, they were still kind of chewy. They weren't that great. But overall, I think maybe the fruits. I think the fruits are always good, especially being in the tropical area.
That's always good. I mean, for me, one of the biggest things is with fleece fruits is the flavor wise, because there's so many fruits that once it's picked off the tree or wherever it's taken from, a good percentage, depending on what kind of fruit it is, of course, the flavor just completely disappears if it's been harvested way too early or it takes too long to get to whatever destination. But with Southeast Asia, that's one of the things I really love about being over in the area, is that the fruit are so fresh that generally when you get whatever fruit, it's always usually really good. But when you know when it's not is when it's just kind of flavorless and has kind of no punch when you eat it. It's just so flat.
Yeah, that's true. And in this case, luckily the fruits were pretty fresh and they were pretty sweet and tasty. So after lunch, the cleanup crew came by and they cleaned up the table really quickly and poured out all the souvenirs on those tables so people could buy them. I'm not sure if anybody actually bought anything, but I pretty much walked around the ship to kind of get a taste for what it was about, what they had to offer, and they had this hot tub at the back where it was the water. I kind of touched it to see if it was actually hot. It was actually just lukewarm, and no, everybody was just surrounding it, taking pictures off of it. But nobody, I don't think anybody actually went in at this trip. But over at the very top, I think we were pretty lucky with the weather. It was nice and warm and sunny.
Really? It doesn't look. It looks pretty like a cloudy day in all the video. It looked like it was just kind of. I mean, temperature-wise, I'm pretty sure it's always warm. Southeast Asia is always warm or hot, but it looked pretty cloudy.
Yeah, it was pretty cloudy for a little bit, but I mean, you could kind of see in the video that there's sun. I mean, sun did come out eventually, but so after we got to the first port, I think this was the Halong cave port, and in this cave port, we got about an hour duration to stop there, and one of the option was to take a speedboat that goes around the cave area and to look at different type of limestone that they had to offer, and that was an additional $12 US per person. And after that, the other option was to sit on the bamboo boats or do your own kayaking that you see people doing kayaking on there, and that part was pretty quick too. I would say probably like 15-20 minutes, and they would just go around showing you those low ceiling tunnels, kind of like hidden area, and the lush greeneries. There was some monkeys that we saw as well. They were pretty friendly. They were kind of far in the distance, and I thought it's pretty nice, but it was really crowded for sure.
Yeah, it looks like there's like quite a bit of people who came over. Would you say it felt kind of overcrowded, or was it just seemed like it was just the right amount of people where you know it's you got a good amount of people you know, kind of going through everything, but there's enough space to kind of go through and not feel like you're just overcrowded and you can't go anywhere or do anything you want in a reasonable amount of time?
I would say it's pretty crowded. I wouldn't want to go on a kayak because I did see some people go on a kayak and they would bump into those bamboo boats. Surprisingly, they didn't capsize. I thought some would probably turn over. They got close, but those bamboo paddlers, they would always make noise to let them know that they're close by, or try like push them away so that they wouldn't get too close to us. But the next stop after that was going to a sun-soaked cave. They say this was the largest and most beautiful cave in the Halong Bay area. It's about 200 steps under the forest canopy before you get to the entrance, and then you get about 45 minutes to walk around before you head back to the cruise. I didn't spend too much time in that one because I thought it was super crowded and it was really tight inside. There was not that much space to really take pictures or anything, but then it started raining pretty hard at this point and I was walking back to the ship.
How was the temperature wise inside of the cave? Was it a little cooler than outside, or was it warmer than it was on the outside?
I think it was a little bit cooler, but it was not that much cooler. Not like the other caves that I've been to in China or in the US. It was definitely, it felt kind of stuffy inside in a way. I'm not sure why. Maybe because it's not underground. But I thought it was kind of interesting as they pull into each one of these ports. The ships get really close to each other and they pretty much touch. They're always like bumping into each other. I'm kind of surprised there's no holes in these ships in the way that they go in there. But after that, there's like one more stop, and then they had this sunset party where everyone went to the top of the ship and they had loud music and fruits and snacks, and that was pretty much the end of it before we headed back to the port.
Would you say the whole experience is worth the price, or is it a little more than what you think should get, or it's exactly what you wanted? What would you say?
A day tour to Halong Bay is absolutely worth it if you are short on time and want a taste of what Halong Bay has to offer without having to take an overnight cruise. It was definitely a long travel day from Hanoi. Will I go again for another day trip now that I have done it? Probably not. If I go again in the future, I definitely try an overnight cruise or stay in the city area overnight before traveling back to Hanoi. And to wrap up the episode are the notables. Unfortunately for this one, there are none.
If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.